With this week's theme, I decided to do a top-down game where there's only 10 seconds for the player to play the game and to kill as many enemies as they can before the timer runs out. How the game works is that the player is spawned into the level and is able to move around the screen and use a projectile to defeat different enemies. And there will be random spawners around the screen, so enemies can come at random points through the level. There is a kill count on the bottom right, so that the player can keep track of how many kills they get throughout the game. There's also a timer at the top of the screen, so the player can keep track of how they're doing through the level and how much time they have left. Last thing about the game is that there is also health on the player, so if the player takes enough hits by the enemy, they will die and the game will reset. One of the problems that I ran into while testing the game was that the projectiles would bounce off the edges of the screen, and this resulted in, if an enemy spawned underneath that projectile, then the player would automatically get a point. And this would be fixed by having the empty objects I have around the edges of the screen being able to destroy the projectile that goes to the edge of the screen. One of the elements that I would want to implement in the future would be to add a function where if the player killed an enemy, there would be like a 1 second add-on to the timer, making it more challenging for the player and let them get a higher score in the game.